What is good, ladies and gentlemen? We're back at it again. Some commentary. I think this video is interesting. It has one clip that I really want to talk about. I think it regards Joe Rogan, but I like what Amber and Preach talk about for the most part. So let's see what they got to say. I'll provide my own commentary. I plan to do a bigger stream. All these videos over here, I plan to talk about, react to, give a nuanced perspective. With that said, let's dive right into what they got to say.
Okay, everything on Epstein, which a lot of people want to see because they want to see these predators brought to justice, right? So Kash Patel gets in, spends time, says, I'm reviewing the files. When I get back to you, I'll let you guys know what I find. Comes out with a press conference, him and someone else, and they're basically like, we watched the footage, Epstein killed himself. And there's no videos of, the kids.
That's not what we want to know.
But
who's on the goddamn list?
So he gets on Joe Rogan, gets asked questions.
So it's possible I don't get the clip that I'm looking for. There's a clip where I saw recently of Joe Rogan finally growing a pair and basically saying that, what are we doing? Why are we treating these immigrants like they are, like we're treating them right now? But this is a strong talking point too, because all of MAGA was talking about how they wanted the Epstein list out. They were blaming Joe Biden. He's hiding the Epstein list. Donald Trump comes into office. They said, oh, the moment we're there, we're going to show everybody the Epstein list. It's been several months. The list is still not out. It's still not out. And then everything came to full fruition when Elon Musk said, Donald Trump's name is on the Epstein list. That's why it's not out. So he added fuel to the fire of something that we all knew was not going to happen in the first place. Me and other creators have said this very clearly. That list is not coming out. If it is coming out, they're redacting a lot of names. But MAGA, all of a sudden, super. I don't know if you guys heard that. Maybe you probably didn't hear that. That's how quiet MAGA is. All right, let's dive in.
Can you play that clip? We're gonna watch it because I think it's. Now let's just play.
The Joe Rogan experience.
You're so happy with yourself.
Where's my pen, bro?
You're gonna end up in a Nick Fuentes compilation.
Let's just get to it because I know it's on people's minds. Epstein.
If you're gonna lie to me, just make it fast. You know what I'm saying? Don't, not regular speed. Just fast forward that bitch. All right, here we go.
Where's
the
my
reason
pen?
people are pissed off about that.
Where's my pen? All right, I'm just gonna play it. I'll look for my pen.
I didn't realize when I asked for it to be sped up.
Keep it.
Oh, by the way, this video is from Abba and Preach. They have millions of subscribers. Do I need to plug them? I don't think I do.
It's the same thing, right? 20 years ago, or whenever it was, 2006, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? After committing the most horrific crimes on planet Earth, right? I wasn't.
Hey, look up how Epstein is related to Pam Bondi and Alexander Acosta. Those two people are part of the Trump administration, by the way.
I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, nothing to do with it. But
and in addition to Donald Trump being Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, quoted by Jeffrey Epstein himself. Just saying. Look up the weird images of Donald Trump having underage girls with him and Epstein sitting on their laps. Just saying.
People were rightfully pissed. I mean, this guy was committing the most grotesque acts you can against children.
Where is my pen?
It is so crazy that he has this high-pitched voice and he's talking about diddling kids.
I know.
Very fitting.
And so when you peel back the layer, and then what happened? The Trump administration, the last go-round, decided, no, we're not going to let that go. We're going to investigate him. I've said it. Dan Bongino said it. We've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this. Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's growth?
Yes.
Yeah.
You went from Kash Patel to
Yes.
Penny's Patel.
Because MAGA has no integrity. Of course we think that. Of course you'll do whatever it takes to defend your Lord and Savior, Donald Christ. Yes, we think you guys are morally fallacious.
that shit.
Did I use that word right?
Yeah, I don't
You
think there's
did.
anybody right or left who looks at this and thinks like, oh yeah, I just believe you.
Yeah, nobody believes you.
No one's ever
You guys really
covered
think
it.
I would do
yeah,
that?
people in power never covered anything up in the past. First of all, Kash Patel sounds like the hottest drill rapper out of Brampton coming out.
Activities, or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on? But the problem is there's been like 50.
Yes, we think you will 100% do that. Yes, the people, the Donald Trump's best friend, no, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, and the people that have shady deals with him, i.e. Pam Bondi and Alexander Acosta, yes, you're not going to prosecute. Yes, of course. Of course. Donald Trump has pardoned several corrupt politicians that were loyal to Donald Trump already. Yes, of course. Come on.
15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? Do you really think I wouldn't give that to you
Yes.
if it existed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This man sounds like all my ex-boyfriends. You really think I would do that to you, babe? Come on.
Hold on. According to the administration, there is hundreds of videos with like different victims, and they're on video being basically diddled. They're saying like, do you think we wouldn't prosecute people if we had the evidence? It's like, well, you guys have the videos. We know you do because you've said it yourselves. One, two, I think only one person has been charged formally. Well, Epstein
Ghislaine.
and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's it. I actually looked it up. I'm like, who else? Even the whole like Prince,
Who else?
Was it Edward? Whatever.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah.
He's never been charged with a crime.
No.
They threw that woman right under the bus. They're like, she's slain. Au revoir.
This is what they did to Prince Andrew. They have Prince Andrew in 4K.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, you these kids.
You're not gonna be a prince no more. You're gonna be a duke.
And they're like, where would you like to retire? And that's it. That's all that happened to him. So this idea that they would, I'm like, I haven't seen you guys go after anybody, even though there's, if you know who Pam Bondi is, she is Trump's attorney general. So she has access to a lot of this stuff, pretty much the highest in terms of the law from his administration. Can you play this video?
Logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims, and no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now.
Tens of thousands of videos, nothing.
So it's either Kash Patel's lying or Pam Bondi's lying. MAGA, who are you gonna crucify? Which one are you gonna? Well, this is a tough decision for MAGA actually on who to crucify. I mean, obviously anybody against Donald Trump, you're crucifying that guy. But in a situation, it's like a foreigner and a woman. That's a tough decision for MAGA. They might actually have an aneurysm trying to decide who or they're going to crucify more between a foreigner. I don't even know if he's from another country, but because he's just not a white American, and that's all that's in a lot of these MAGA brains recently. Or a woman. Now that's easy to identify. You know, they have the whole thing. What is a woman? Oh well, Pam Bondi's a woman. So yeah. MAGA, who's lying? Please tell me who's lying.
To me, that's just a bit too crazy. Like tens of thousands of videos, a lot of people being diddled the entire time, and you're telling me no one's been charged from this entire thing. And we're still reviewing the tapes 7 years later.
Yeah.
How much are you guys enjoying these tapes?
Nah.
Yo, that's
Exactly.
crazy.
What you doing?
How long does it take you to review?
What you doing? I'm about to
Child
do a
diddling.
tape, bro.
Hey, listen.
Yo.
This is
That's what it is, though.
This is pressing. There's child diddlers everywhere. We're gonna review. We're gonna review every
Second.
What's your job? Whew. Reviewing tapes.
My pen is not working.
And boy, are my arms tired.
You deserve
pen is
justice,
not working.
and you're gonna get it after we review every crevice, every moan,
Crannies.
every shadow, God, I love kids.
Literally, his argument is like, "Do you think we would? What? How is that an argument?
My
Like
mother
you
said
shoot
that.
somebody and they're like, "Did you do it?" He's like, "Do you think me?" And you're like, "How is that a defense of?"
And I'll detail the Epstein self-deletion in jail later, like when he took his own life, because the details of it are actually worth looking at. But there's so many things that are suspicious about it, and like just off the face of it, they want you to believe it's all incompetence, but it's a bit too bizarre in my opinion.
I'm working my ass off, along with the leadership at the Bureau and DOJ, to get you what we're allowed to give you. And you're going to get the video of the cell, and you're going to see for yourself. And we will never be able to convince everyone.
I wonder how thoroughly they're gonna doctor that video. I wonder if that's what they're. We gotta make sure this part doesn't look doctored. All right, delete that. Okay, there's a tiny little frame cut. We gotta mesh these videos to make it seem like there's no cut here. Yeah, they're gonna get. Hey, that AI. I can see why they don't want to regulate AI. They don't want. I can see why they're gonna use that AI. Oh, for sure. They're gonna use that AI.
Everyone.
Okay, let's get into that. So, what did you think before you got in office? Did you think that Epstein was murdered?
No.
No suspicion at all of it?
But I have a different background, right?
He's probably
right?
a lot. He's
I was
lying.
a public
I
defender
bet
back in
I
the
could
day.
find it.
I used to spend a lot of time in jails and a lot of time in segregated housing units. And I've known people that.
He doesn't think Epstein was murdered. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He's the guy who thinks the election is stolen, but he doesn't think Epstein was murdered. Okay. All right, buddy. All right.
That have committed suicide in these cells.
Why are all my
and I know
pens
how
not
you get in, how you get out,
working?
who works the system. And so the way, based on public information
Can
at the
someone
time,
help me
that
figure
he
out why my
ended
pens aren't
up
working?
put the pictures and him hanging himself. I was like, man, that guy killed himself. There's just no way that you could have run an op and had people go into that cell and not have any video of it and not have any people come out and say, hey, yeah, I saw that guy. He shouldn't have been there, the guard or this guy. There's just no access points into places like this in the detention center he was in, which I've been in.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I was told, what I'd read, was that the guards were not paying attention or were sleeping.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and in short order, you'll see it.
Is that correct?
Well, it's hard to surmise that from a video, right? Like,
right.
Where they and look.
Get this man's out of my face. They sound like fresh and fit trying to defend themselves. It makes no freaking sense what they're saying. I can't believe that.
Do you guys want me to give you the timeline, the whole Epstein self-deletion, so you guys can have
Sure,
that?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely.
Okay.
Indulge.
So, July 6th, 2019, Epstein is arrested at Teterboro Airport on trafficking charges. He's booked and enters the Metropolitan Correction Center in Manhattan. Okay, he's placed in a special housing unit for protective custody pending his trial. Obviously, for somebody who's high risk, high profile, they don't keep him in general population. Doesn't make sense to, and this is a high profile person. Boom. July 18th, bail is denied. All right, he's classified as a flight risk and a danger to the community. July 23rd, which is about 5 days, Epstein is discovered semi-conscious, hanging from a bedsheet in what appears to be his first self-deletion attempt. Now, from July 23rd of when he tried to off himself till July 29th, he's placed on full self-deletion watch. Basically, they don't want him to take his own life. That's pretty normal to put yourself on watch. So he's observed in a designated cell to prevent self-harm. After 6 days, a psychologist removes him from watch, and then he's transferred back to SHU under enhanced psychological observation. Protocols had required a cellmate and 30-minute guard checks, but these were inconsistently followed. So from July 29th, we fast forward to August 9th. Epstein's cellmate is transferred out and no new cellmate is assigned, a direct violation of protocol. August 10th, Epstein meets with his attorneys and appears upbeat. Overnight, cellmate's gone. 2 guards falsify 30-minute check-ins and are found asleep. 2 surveillance cameras malfunctioned. 6:30 a.m., again, this is the day after he met with his lawyer, guards discover Epstein unresponsive and hanging from a bedsheet in his bunk. 9 minutes later, he's declared dead. So, a couple of things that were ignored. After he was put on watch, him put on watch for 6 days was a bit abnormal.
All right. If you guys didn't catch everything that Abba said, which makes this situation so goddamn weird, is that this guy was already put on suicide watch. They upped the security, but for some reason, when he's such a high-profile witness, to make sure we prosecute all these weirdos that are doing some nasty things to underage girls, in this high-profile case, we remove his cellmate, the cameras malfunction, and the guards go to sleep with someone who already tried to take his life. Now, you let me know if that makes any sense. Please tell me if that makes sense to you, please.
Why? Because he attempted on his life and he's a high profile person. So generally you're actually supposed to stay on watch normally a little bit longer than 6 days. But forget that, about 10 days passed by and his cellmate's removed. And the reason why that's odd is because generally if you take an attempt on your own life, they always put a cellmate beside you. Why? Because it's harder to take your own life if someone's always around. And this is like a special housing unit. So these are kind of units specifically for people who are at risk. They take the cellmate away so there's no one to witness it. That's odd because it's not the protocol. Afterwards, the cameras malfunction. That's also odd because it's 2 different cameras. And 2 of the guards who were supposed to be on duty apparently were like browsing and shopping or asleep. So all these things kind of come together. What's more, the first time he attempted to take his life, apparently it was deleted, the footage of that first attempt, due to a technical error. Is it that everyone's incompetent? That there's equipment malfunctions, that they don't follow protocol, and that he just so happens to receive a visit from his lawyer the day before he takes his own life? I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of elements about this that are incredibly suspicious, and it kind of makes sense for a lot of people to worry because he was connected to a lot of powerful people. And with that in mind, I don't think
it's interesting to me that in a situation where so many things clearly don't add up, the same people that support Trump are the same people who think that 9/11 was fake. It was an inside job. They're the same people who think that COVID was an inside job. They're the same people who think that the election was stolen. And we provide so much evidence on no. Same people who think the earth is flat. We provide so much evidence like no. Here's evidence, here's what an expert says. But when it comes to this one, where everything is against standard procedure, where everything makes no sense, where no actual expert can actually defend everything that has happened, they're trying to make us believe that it's all incompetence. Now it's believable. Now it's, oh yeah, I that makes sense. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up.
think it's that much of a crazy conspiracy to think that maybe his lawyer passed him a note, because I don't actually believe someone went in there, took his life. I suspect that probably someone's like, listen, you ain't getting out. If you want your family to be okay, take your own life. We're gonna make sure no one's around. We're gonna make sure the cameras are out. Do it.
If I may, I think that there are so many people attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like you have Oprah, there's so many rumors about it. You have like, and with Diddy and with Epstein, everything is so intertwined that it's hard to catch one person. And I do think that somewhere along the lines, like even on a PR level, there's some type of worry that if all of these names come out, it might like ruin a certain type of industry or not. I could be completely wrong, but it seems like there's almost like too many people that could be involved in this.
I'm be honest. I don't typically fanboy. Obviously there's people that I respect a lot. You guys can't see it, but I have a poster of Kobe Bryant, for example, right? Obviously respect Martin Luther King Jr. a lot for what he did. Even though I'm not religious, even the idea of Jesus Christ, respect so goddamn much. I can't believe I said Jesus Christ and then I said goddamn. Like, what is wrong with me? Anyway, ultimately, there's a lot of people I respect. There are, like, I have a certain, like, level of fandom for things you do in your own industry, like Steph playing basketball or Mahomes playing football. But that is not enough for me to excuse behavior that is this disgusting. I don't care who you are. If you were on that island doing certain things to underage girls with Jeffrey Epstein, I condemn you completely. There's no way. I don't care if you're a president. I don't care if you're an entertainer. I don't care if you're a prince. It doesn't matter. I condemn you. Hopefully other people will keep the same energy.
That it would like cause some type of civil uproar, if you will. I'm just thinking in extremes, but if there's really like that level of volume of millionaires and like not to like pinpoint Oprah
Billionaires.
thing, like.
But yeah,
I wonder
maybe
if Oprah was like, "There's a child under your seat. There's a child under your seat. There's a child under your seat.
everybody's getting a child.
Everyone's got a kid."
I bet you Epstein's Island has like thematic nights,
Probably, honestly.
like hide and peek, and it's just like looking under like. All right.
There is evidence, apparently, that Epstein was like a foreign agent, like a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
There's a former
Ghislaine
guy
Maxwell, I think.
Ari Ben Menash is a former Mossad agent, and he wrote this book. I can't remember what it's called. I watched the interview. I don't know. And he explains how Epstein is
Probably linked to all those people.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that's
Ghislaine Maxwell like, confirmed. Her dad.
yes,
I believe her
and
dad.
I don't. Was it Epstein or Epstein's dad? I don't remember because I think I know exactly the report he's referring to. It's not important. enough for me to fact
Robert
check.
Maxwell was involved in Israeli
Also,
intelligence
it's
as well.
not Ghislaine. C'est Ghislaine. Just wanted to say that.
I know her
Ghislaine,
dad.
whenever they
Yeah, yeah.
pronounce her name
But
Ghislaine.
Guilherme,
C'est Ghislaine.
but Guilherme.
Oh, I don't think the diddly dallying is like. I think it's all across the political spectrum. That's why I think none of the Democrats or the Republicans are concerned, and nobody
wants
this man alive because like you saw the pictures. You saw who apparently from Bill Clinton to Trump to all these different billionaires to Prince Andrew. So because it included so many people from all across the political aisle, it's just too much. So it was in everyone's best interest to see this guy get offed.
Yeah.
And even Ghislaine Maxwell, like you don't even hear anything about her. They have her in custody. They charged her. They found her guilty. Nobody else, which is crazy. Normally, a person like that who's been with so many influential people, you would think of flipping them, get information on others. They didn't try. Damn, nothing.
A night shift, yeah, but no one can get in to the cell. And if they had gotten into the cell, you would see it.
But we were told that the cameras were down.
Well, I don't know who said that.
But that was in the news.
We're giving you all the footage we have.
So why wasn't that released like immediately? Why did this speculation escalate?
I think you'd have to ask whoever the Attorney General back then was, Bill Barr.
Did you ever see? Do you remember that HBO autopsy show? Dr. Michael Baden. He's a famous forensic.
I don't think I've
scientist. So he's a pathologist, and he reviewed the case, and it was his determination that it was a homicide because of the way his neck was broken. And what he said was it was indicative of a ligature strangulation, and it was because of the positioning on the neck where the marks were that it wasn't indicative of someone hanging by their weight, which had been higher on the chin. And there's a specific break of the bones in the vertebrae that's consistent with someone who is just strangled to death.
I haven't seen it. I'll definitely take a look at it because that's part of
That shit. How are you the head of FBI and you don't have answers to none of these questions? I don't know. You have to ask this person. I don't know. You have to ask that person. I wasn't there. You have to ask the Attorney General.
Well, preach. The answer is very simple. He's incompetent.
I was there. How? How did you even got this fucking job?
I think that's pretty standard for people who work in FBI. They're not allowed to answer a lot of these questions, so it's fine. But this administration came in saying we're going to release everything. We're going to be transparent. We're going to give you guys everything. Which I'm like, cool. Then they show up and they're like, can't say that. Can't talk about this. I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of this. It's like, all right, bro. Just say you're going to do like everyone else. Then shut the fuck up.
Then don't go on the podcast. Then
or just don't talk about this.
Don't
topic.
go on the podcast.
I'm going to be super transparent, bro. Do you think I would lie? Do you think I would? Yes, motherfucker. It's your job to lie. We're national security. You're not allowed to tell me there's classified information. Shut your fucking mouth. So to play, Cash
wasting
Patel's
people's time.
advocate. I did look up at this.
I'm not playing Cash Patel advocate because, like Abba said, all these MFers were acting like, oh yeah, they're going to reveal the conspiracy that exists for the Democratic deep state, and they're going to reveal all this information. And then all of us are saying, well, there's probably more reasonable, blah 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 blah. I'm against keeping the Epstein files secret. I mean, if this blows everything up, revealing all these weirdos, hey man, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not defending Cash.
Assessment. So one that he made, I looked up any contrasting opinions or if anyone shared it, and he's pretty much the only high-profile person who's talked about this case and said it's probably a homicide. Everyone else who looked at it said it looks like it's more likely self-deletion, meaning death by hanging. They talked about like the bone breaking. He says, yes, it's more common in homicides, but it's still very possible in hanging. So that's from what I read up online, but let's keep playing.
This guy was like, this very well-respected forensic scientist who would analyze these bodies, and it was his determination that he was murdered.
Yeah. And my job, going back to the core of what I've been doing since I started Russiagate, was to get is to get everybody the information.
When did you get here?
It went shing. Oh no, he got proof. And I like if you bring it back, just a couple of seconds when that screen lights up on his right, you just play that shit.
When did you get here?
I didn't catch it.
This is what we call a war of experts. You can always find someone to come in and say the opposite.
Right.
And I used to do it all the time. I mean, I represented some of the worst humans that you can possibly imagine on Earth. Literally, the guys that were trafficking children from Mexico into America.
So you know about those cases, but not about the Epstein. Get the fuck out of my face, dude.
You know,
I'm insulted.
Didn't he just say earlier, do you think I would not tell you? Do you think I would not lie? I used to represent traffickers, sex offenders. I used to help them get off on their
C'est comme yo, fais ton bec, dog.
Yeah, I feel like I heard the same thing. It was like, I used to represent some of the worst human beings. Like, what do you mean you used to represent the worst human being? Why are you representing the worst human beings? What is going on here? What? What?
Once again, just
Yes, please.
Well, again, that's part of what I'm going to try to answer for you.
Jeffrey Epstein jail CCTV erased by technical errors. Whoopsies.
I'm sorry. Okay, and he just goes on and he keeps lying throughout the whole thing. Nobody believes him. The video is mass disliked. I think this guy's not credible whatsoever. But it's really like that. They had this man who was connected to all the billionaires, had him in custody, had tapes of everything, and made 5 to 6 whoopsies in a row. And been like, that's what happened.
Hey, man, they're cooking. I do want to find that one clip of Joe Rogan being very upset with this immigration stuff. I probably will find it maybe when I stream. I don't know. I might stream Wednesday. We'll see. Because Monday, I'll be busy this evening. Tuesday, I'll be busy in the evening. Wednesday, it might have to be Wednesday. All right, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did. Shout out Evan and Preach. You already know they're great content creators. For the most part, they make some really good points. And it's just funny, man. It's just funny. With that said, y'all have a good one. Nope. You have a good one. Take care. Peace.